This is The Wire for 1830 Zulu, February 27th, 2024. Precedence is routine. Information cutoff is 1730. Bottom line up front. Canada continues attacks on speech. U.S. Army reportedly reduces 24,000 jobs. Beginning with international events. In Canada, several bills have been introduced in Parliament with the goal of suppressing and criminalizing speech. Bill C-63, as introduced for the first reading yesterday, seeks to modify the criminal code to create a new hate crime offense that specifically introduces life sentences for some speech crimes. This follows the introduction of Bill C-372, which was tabled earlier this month, which intends to criminalize the promotion of fossil fuels. This bill, as it stands, was allegedly intended to restrict corporate advertising. However, most of the restrictions apply to everyday citizens who could face jail time for simply stating that fossil fuels are cheaper or more reliable than allegedly renewable energy sources. In the Red Sea Horn of Africa region, the status of the merchant vessel Rubamar remains unclear and contradictory. Last night, Houthi forces posted videos indicating that they were in possession of the partially sunken vessel, or at the very minimum are conducting security patrols in the area. Houthi forces have claimed that they will allow the towing of the stricken vessel only in exchange for humanitarian aid being sent to Gaza. Analysts comment. This directly contradicts claims by Western authorities and media that the vessel was being towed into Port Djibouti. In the videos provided by Houthi forces, the condition of the vessel has deteriorated since the photos released by the BBC a few days ago. Satellite imagery confirms that the Rubamar is at anchor in approximately 165 feet of water at grid coordinate 38 Papa, Lima Victor, 16429, 09551. Currently, the vessel is abandoned and continues to take on water. On the home front in Washington, D.C., this morning, defense officials have leaked plans to restructure the U.S. Army to reduce personnel levels in response to recruiting shortfalls. According to the reports leaked to the media, allegedly 24,000 Army positions will be reduced, most of which are already vacant due to personnel shortages. Analysts comment. Continuing the frustrating trend of Pentagon officials conveying information via informal leaks so as to maintain deniability, no official statement has been released regarding this reduction in force. Instead, all mainstream media reporting cites the same undisclosed document that allegedly contains readiness data. Nevertheless, these numbers are probably more indicative of the overall recruiting crisis that has affected the U.S. military for years. Analyst comments for this wire. As the loss of free speech in Canada has reached disturbing levels by American standards, most American states are not far behind with regards to the quiet rule changing of existing criminal code that makes millions of citizens felons overnight. However, the specific tactics and legalisms used to subjugate Canadian citizens can also serve as a litmus test for impending legal trickery within the United States. For instance, the methods used to financially target participants of the Canadian trucker protests have been considered by American companies seeking to target firearms retailers. Moving into the election season, more financial targeting of not just high-profile political opponents, but lower-level dissidents is likely, as evidenced by the continual arrests, prosecutions, and ongoing surveillance of J6 participants. This is especially important to consider as, in the United States, much of the targeting of taxpayers may originate from the desires of government or elites, but in practicality is enacted by private companies acting on the behalf and or wishes of the federal regime. This already is a matter of routine among platforms like Facebook and Meta when it comes to speech. However, much more serious targeting can and is likely to occur as the social, political, and economic situation in the United States deteriorates closer to the election. This concludes The Wire for 1830 Zulu, February 27th, 2024.